Hello everyone, my name is Curry, and or my character name is Artimaze. I'm gonna do a quick down of the spec Gunnery on Commando or Arsenal on a Mercenary. Um, I do not claim that the way I play this spec is the best way to play this spec. I don't claim to be, the best player of the spec ever, and I just figured I would share my insight on how I play the spec, and we can go from there. Um, First, I'll show, since it's post 3.0, I had the gunnery tree selected and have all the uh, different perks from the tree. Next, I have my utility points, and the utility points I personally take for most fights are cell capacitor, charge barrier, and heavy trooper. Advanced line, electro shield, overclock, and forced march. Um, those are just most fights. There are some exceptions on certain fights. I will change up, like for one of the new operations, the Ravagers. I'll take overclock and I'll put it over here and shock absorb. For Quartermaster, Quartermaster has a ton of AoE damage, and if you get caught in any of it, you're basically one shot. This reduction really helps out your healers and yourself for not dying. But since the movement is so heavy in that fight, I leave it here. I really, um, personally, I really love the reflexive shield utility, and I love that it was in gunnery previously. Um, but I can't take it over these two or this, um, just because this is great for burst in gunnery, and this is just absolutely crucial for high movement fights like Quartermaster, Master and Blaster, um, the Walkers, uh, Undertaker, a whole bunch of fights. This is extremely useful for. Um, I don't really change this up much. I guess you could use chain gunnery, maybe. Hail bolts did get a lot better, but it's still not great. Um, so this talent, I guess, can help if you're wanting to do like AOE heavy fights, like back in. If you want to go back to DF or DP, like a Corruptor Zero, that's a pretty good fight for this. I haven't done it yet, but maybe Revenant Commanders is a good fight for that. But for now, I barely ever take this, and uh, generally I don't suggest taking it. Anyway, on to my character. This is my tune. Um, I have 49,000 HP. Uh, we got a ton of buff to our HP in 3.0, and I don't have the best gear in the world, especially since a lot of it is the old stuff. But I'm getting there, and that'll come into play in the following parts. First of all, I have the two new crafted relics. I've got Focus Ret and Serendipitous Assault. One thing you can go ahead and notice is that both of these have power relics, and this earpiece has an accuracy relic, or, excuse me, power augments, and this has an accuracy augment, and where's the other one? Oh, it's somewhere. Anyway, I have a second accuracy augment. Um, but I take power augments now for my tunes. I believe that now that 3.0 has come and we lost all those traits, that was, aim plus 9%, willpower plus 6%, or whatever theirs was, maybe 8%. And those really helped for the main stat augments. Now that those are gone, I've experimented, and the power augments have given me the best results, and accuracy augments are nice, just so I don't have to get another piece of accuracy into my gear, because the less accuracy pieces you have, the more stuff you can stack power with, or stack surge, or pretty much surge. I tried alacrity in my gear, and it didn't do anything for me, so I just took it back out. So you can see all my different gears here. It looks like I took the other accuracy augment out, which makes sense. I got an updated accuracy enhancement. I got one up to the 186 level, where it was previously 180. So that was helpful. And I believe that's when I took out the accuracy augment. So anyway, I have a 24% crit chance and 67% surge. The 24% crit chance comes from 284 crit rating. I mainly play Assault for my commando, but I also play Gunnery. I played Gunnery for a long time. Gunnery was all I played. So I definitely looked at the changes for 3.0 and have played around with it. I play it on fights, and every now and then I'll switch to it for just an entire op. So I still like Gunnery. I just don't play it as much as I used to. But from there, I think we'll go into the explanation of abilities. So the main thing is key, and this is for Assault too, but the key thing is that when you start a boss fight, you need to have your 10 stacks of supercharge. I barely ever use celerity. Like, the only time I ever use celerity is if my raid leader calls for it. If my raid leader calls for it, that's when I'll say okay, and I'll use my next 10 charges for celerity instead of cells. But 9 out of 10 times I prefer to use cells. It's just better, in my opinion. It helps you out, and even though your raid team may need the celerity, like I said, your raid leader will tell you we need celerity. Somebody pop it. I also have 2 other commandos on my raid team, so if I don't have it, they do, and somebody gets it off, whether it be me or one of them. So the main thing about Gunnery is that it's super bursty, and I like to capitalize on that burstiness, as I think everyone does. So the way I do my burst is I do Bolt Storm, Vortex Bolt, Grav Round, I pop Supercharge Cells, Demo Round, Bolt Storm, Tech Override, Grav Round, and if I still have time in the Supercharge Cells, which usually I don't think you do, but regardless, I will still hit my high impact bolt, and that's my starting burst for Gunnery. After that, it's just a list of priorities. I play Gunnery a lot different than I think my guild does. I think my guild requires them to use high impact bolt with 5 stacks, and I don't save my high impact bolt just to say, okay, I have my 5 stacks, because high impact bolt does a ton of damage even without 5 stacks. And the way I play Gunnery anyway, it's very, very rare you're not going to have the 5 stacks to begin with, but if you don't, you still want to use it. There's never a time to me in Gunnery where you want to leave dim around and you want to leave high impact bolt off cooldown. Those need to always 100% of the time be on cooldown. The only time there's an exception to that is if you're in the middle of a channel for a bolt storm. Obviously, if one comes off cooldown and you're channeling your bolt storm, don't just break your channel and use it. Finish off your channel and then use it. But what you want to do is make sure they're always on cooldown, regardless if you have your 5 stacks. The grab round debuff is a lot more key to dim around because it is a noticeable difference in damage, and that only takes 1 shot versus, you know, 5, or not 5, but 3. So that's a lot easier to manage. One other thing I should mention is that on my character I have the old, for now, the old 2-piece for the increased chance on dry round by 15%. Until I get enough for my 6-piece bonus, I think this is too crucial to lose. That 15% chance is huge, especially like as a Gunnery Commando, when you're not using, you know, high impact bolt, bolt storm, demo round, or vortex bolt. You are spamming grab round. So the more critical chance you have on your grab round, the more damage you're going to get out of it. So even though I am losing a little bit of stat right now from having 180 armor rings instead of, you know, the 192s or whatever, I think until I get the 6 set bonus, I'll put the 4s in the belt and the bracer. But until I can get the last 2 that give me the 6-piece set bonus, which personally I don't really think is that good, I think that's when I'll swap over. But until then, I'm not gonna get rid of the 2-piece just yet. But anyway, I'll show you visually my opening burst, and then I will go and show you guys a general just parse from me for Gunnery. Like I said, it's pretty crucial that when you start a boss fight that you have your 10 stacks. Supercharge is very key in your opening burst. So you go Bolt Storm, Vortex Bolt, Grab Round, Pop Supercharge, Demo Round, Bolt Storm, Tech Override, Grab Round, and High Impact Bolt. And that should have your proc on Bolt Storm, so Bolt Storm, but by that time your Supercharge is over. But from there, it's just your list of priorities. So visually, here is my opening burst for Gunnery. Okay, So that's a typical burst opener for me in Gunnery. Really, that's all there is to it on the opener. I had mistimed my stuff. You do have to use another grab round to get your next Bolt Storm proc on our opener, but basically that's how I do it. That's how I like to start my fights in Gunnery. And then from there, it's just a list of priorities, which I'll put on the screen. Dim around is probably at the top. Then high impact bolt storm under that. Probably vortex bolt after that. Then grab round. Then electronet. Electronet's really just fluff damage. It's not really key, and like the way I play Gunnery, I typically have, like I said, I typically have my 5 stacks. But when I use Electronet, that's typically the high impact bolt where I don't have my 5 stacks. Melees. From there, I'm gonna show a typical parse, all around parse from me in Gunnery. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or just message me in game. I'm on the Shadowlands server. My character name is Artimaze. And we'll go from there. to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later.